Hi everyone, it's me, Son of Hope, and today I wanted to talk about another Star Wars theory that I had today. This is about Leia, and in the original trilogy, mostly, a lot of people who watch Star Wars, especially in the sequels, have complained in The Last Jedi, when Leia, is in space, she, uses the Force to pull herself back, that puts her into a coma. And a lot of fans argue that, this is completely out of nowhere, there was no sign that she had the Force, and in The Rise of Skywalker, they really drive this home, with her using the Force when she tries to call out for Ben in The Rise of Skywalker. But I wanted to argue with that and say no, there were signs, even in episode 4, that she had the Force with her. I want to show you a quick clip from The Empire Strikes Back episode 5 and just show you that she could absolutely have the Force, and then make a response to it after. So here it goes.
Leia. Hear me. Leia.
Luke. We've got to go back.
What?
I know where Luke is.
What about those fighters?
Should we just do it?
All right. Look, someone's up there.
It's Luke. Chewie, slow down. Slow down and we'll get under. Time to open the top hatch.
Okay. Easy, Chewie. Lando?
Okay, let's go.
So that is basically one hint that she had the Force with her. George Lucas has made it known for years that when he was, when the original trilogy was developing in the late 70s through early 80s, there was no plan for the entire trilogy. He kind of just went along with what was going on. He just, went with the flow. It's pretty obvious because throughout the trilogy, until the Return of the Jedi, there was kind of a weird, love triangle between Luke, Leia, and Han. But it was never confirmed until the Return of the Jedi that Luke and Leia were twins, and that just makes that one scene in Empire completely weird and creepy now that that they're related. It's really gross because in the first two movies, they were hinting at a possible relationship between Luke and Leia in a romantic sense. I mean, there was even scenes in the movies that played romantic bits, music that John Williams made for Luke and Leia, because there was no real plan. and it's pretty obvious. But I think in Empire, through the last movie, I think George wanted to make her force sensitive, whether she was related to Luke or not. But I do know that the original plan that was he had a secret sister, but they would find her in the third movie. But Leia ended up fulfilling that sibling role instead, and that way she could be with Han and have happily ever after with Han and Luke still in her life, without like her choosing, and then the other guy does his own thing and they never see each other again. But I have a theory that George was going to especially prove in the third film, even with Luke's sister in mind, that she was going to use the Force, and maybe like maybe not in the third movie, but if there was a sequel to the movies, which there are, that she would use the Force more often, because that by then she'd be more experienced. And it definitely shows in The Last Jedi and in the Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why they never explored her Force sensitivity in The Force Awakens. I guess because of Rey and the introduction of her, but I've definitely proved that Leia did have the Force. And like I said before, I've said it many times, as much as I enjoy the sequels, they're my least favorite trilogy in the 9 films of Star Wars, but I still do enjoy them. But like I said, they're my least favorite. But I don't like hearing the argument that Luke's not Luke's, but Leia's scene where she pulls herself back into the pod, that scene was completely out of nowhere. That was not completely out of nowhere. If they had never hinted at her having the Force in the original trilogy, I would definitely be on board with that argument. But even in the original trilogy, there was hints of her using the Force, and Luke even told her in Return of the Jedi that the Force is strong within his family, and then Leia realizes that she's a sister. So that's definitely confirms that she is Force sensitive. But I definitely do not like the argument with Leia using the Force in The Last Jedi being completely out of nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? But that's all I gotta say. God bless and bye.